can get into their accounts, their savings, whatever, and pull some money out. Hopefully they will have saved in advance, because a wedding that should be, you have a little bit of notice. Yeah, otherwise they're eloping and then it doesn't cost much at all. Yeah. So that's okay. So that's what and sometimes people have money coming and they have a bonus or they have a fee and maybe the payment was delayed, and so they need to reach into their own reserves and grab some money for something like that. So those are a few of the things that we look at that are okay. So if we're not able to get money from the bank on a short-term loan, where are some places where people can go to get money that's inside of their own little pockets of money? And one of the places where we can go first is we're able to take loans from IRA accounts. Now, I am not a fan of people robbing from their future, so hear me on this. A loan from the IRA account, and that has to be repaid within 60 days. So you've got this, and the most common way I see this is just the last little bit just before on a closing cost for a home. People will pull some money out or maybe a quick move, but you have to put it back in before 60 days or it counts as a taxable distribution. So that's one thing. And then if you're putting money into a Roth IRA, you can pull some of that money back. Again, you have to put it back before April of the following year. So these are two areas where we've put money away, but they can work for us. Any other, with using those ideas, any other ideas you have?
Don't go to Guido.
Sorry. That is true. It took me a second. Don't go. Oh, Guido, my friendly neighbor.
Right, right.
Well, if they have cash value life insurance, sometimes they can pull out a cash value life insurance.
Right. Cash value is a really good suggestion. But again, with all of these, we don't want to rob from our future. So you can borrow from your cash value life insurance. It's very, 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 very important. Anybody out there who's done this, that it be paid back. It is a loan. Interest accrues, and so if you don't pay it back, you're going to start eating away at the cash inside the policy, and it will reduce your death benefit. But that is one other really good suggestion. Anything else?
Garage sale.
A garage sale is clean that house out. You bet. Pull in your neighbors if you need to. From last week, we know there are people who visit garage sales, don't we, Joe?
That's right.
We had lots of people doing that. Do you?
I love yard sales.
Yes. I usually, that's my second choice after dumpster diving. In New York and LA, those two spots.
Can you get really good stuff in the dumpsters?
Oh my God! Like
really?
I've got celebrities coming out of their house, like dumping a chair that had a cat scratch.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you
Joe,
love them?
you need to go over there.
We need to hang out.
Furnish my whole house.
That is, I never thought about that, but that's interesting. I guess everything is just all relative, right?
We call it sidewalk pickup.
Yeah.
You're driving along, you see somebody just pulled something out and set it out to be thrown away, and you stop and No, I picked up stuff recently on that. We got a chair once that was just on the sidewalk down the street, and all it needed was a good shampooing, quite frankly. The cloth had no rips, no tears.
That's where we got our mattress. No, I'm only kidding.
Great idea. I didn't know that. That's a little piece of trivia for the rest of us.
An end table. I got an end table that we painted up.
But there's always little things you look for when you're doing that. Like, if their garage is open, you look at how they keep their garage. Seriously, because if it's like a disaster, and you just pulled something out, I'm like, what does your house
Right, and if there's something kind of sticking a little bit out of the garage, it's like, you know what, that miter saw. They're obviously trying to put it on the curb.
Seriously.
I don't do a lot of garage sales, so this is great suggestions.
I hate when I stop at people's places and I'm like, is this where the yard sellers are like, no, we're just cleaning out our garage. I'm like, well, you could do pretty good here.
I'll give you 20 for that.
That's right. Well, super. Well, then, but there's a couple other areas. Most people know they can pull money out of their 401k. Now, when you're dealing with people in financial trouble, have they done this, Mark?
Yes. Too often do I have a client who comes into me because most of the time they don't do it right.
Exactly.
So most of the time when they have non-dischargeable tax debt as well because they took money out of their 401k or IRA or something like that, and then they're hit with 10% penalties plus taxes, and it doesn't go away.
Right. It's very, very, very important to repay all of these loans because we will have the taxable distribution with the penalty. So we're talking about, just a short-term kind of thing to get us through something short-term, not a long-term kind of thing. You can also, if you do work for a company, some pensions do offer loan provisions, so check with your employer. And some companies also have outside vendors that will offer non-predatory loans. So those are a couple of other suggestions. One other financial vehicle that a lot of people have are annuities. Annuities are a savings vehicle with insurance companies that are tax-deferred. You can take withdrawals from these if you're under 59 and a half, the 10% penalty. Or some of them let you have loans. But again, you're going to want to put the money back in, because anything coming out of a tax-deferred vehicle, it will be taxable if you take a withdrawal, but not if you take a loan. So these are just, I don't know, just some little suggestions of where we can go without having to visit Guido or doing doing something like that.
Or become a pickpocket.
Exactly. So, but the main thing is, once we get a hold of the cash we need on this temporary short-term basis, and we know it's temporary and short-term, and we're not rationalizing, that's only the beginning. Remember, there has to be an exit strategy. How is this going to be paid back? What's the plan to pay it back? Be disciplined, stick with it. Don't make yourself end up paying more money.
But that's the rub now, isn't it? Isn't that the problem? We as Americans feel like we want something now, so we figure out a way to borrow money for it.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, if you have to get a loan, do you need it right now? Because you obviously can't afford it. So
that's the question.
Don't you want to wait?
Yep,
till you can pay for it right now and not go, I'll take a loan from you and give you more money later, even though I may not have it because I don't have it now. What makes you think you'll have it later?
That's a great question.
You get another job?
Maybe give yourself the 72 hours to think about it before you do something. But like I said, I was talking about these, just a couple of things, but not going out and buying something on credit. I mean, like the furniture or the too big of a house or
the wedding.
Yeah, or the too big of
What
the
about
wedding.
the guy on Craigslist that figured out how to make all that money, although he got busted? He started selling all his furniture and stuff, and come to realize he was casing people's homes, and when they'd go out of town, he'd do a big sale. And
at their house?
People would go in and buy
God.
like the thermostat. Oh, I like that Honeywell thermostat. Give me $20 for it.
Oh my!
He cleaned out like 13 homes
before he got caught.
I think it was in New York, and then he got caught. But that guy had a lot of whatever you call it.
Wow.
Yes, criminal mentality.
By the way, any items
He's like, that's just another way you could do it.
Any items I purchased from that guy do not reside here at CK Property.
Wondered how you heard about him.
I still like that Bobcat. I'm not giving it back.
As your attorney, I would advise
Sorry
you
about that.
to keep your lip, brother.
Just kidding, by the way.
Okay, well, we are pleased to have Sadako Pointer with us.
I stayed for this.
I know you haven't been here for a while, Mark, so I knew it would take something special.
Mark's a big Pointer Sisters fan. Oh, Mark.
I would hope so.
Well,
so am I.
It was my era. Now, you don't believe that, but I was. I was, yeah, I'm 52. Well, I'm
no way.
52. See, that's the reaction. Last show,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Most people think he's in his late 20s.
Well, you ought to see me with a wig on.
Yeah.
Especially that red one.
I'm still waiting for that, the red wig.
The red wig? No, I won't ever wear red wig after that movie event. That was very sad.
Oh, that is true.
God bless the victims.
Not think about that.
Very sad.
Well, Sadako,
But I'm excited about music.
I know, and what a great privilege and, a fun thing to be born into a house with women who somehow were able, at least two of them, right? Two had children, two didn't. Oh, obviously, you're Ruth's granddaughter. Let's get that. So Ruth's granddaughter.
Yes.
And so you were telling me that two of the sisters had children, two did not. Ruth obviously had children. Who was the other one who had a child?
Anita.
And Anita both had children. So how did these women juggle this very successful career? Everybody loved them. Everybody was dancing to them, wanted to see them. How did they juggle all of that to get that going?
From the stories I remember, we talk about this sometimes backstage, sometimes at family functions, but their mother was very involved in their life. So when they went on tour, they had their kids before their big break, per se. So their mother would help them when they went on tour, and then it was a big occasion when they came back, and they lived in this huge house. But you know what? I know the house that I grew up in, I know some of them grew up there for a while, but they may have been at another location. It's spotty because it's never like a questionnaire like this. They're just spitting out things, and I'm trying to catch them like, that's what happened before I was born? So I'm trying to connect them all. But I know we lived in a huge house in Novato on David Court, which some of the grandkids lived in, and the kids.
So you just had a big multi-generation home so that your grandma could... No, you'd be your great-grandma.
Yeah.
Your great-grandma was able to take care of all of the kids and the grandkids while she was young enough to do that. That must have been a lot of fun.
It was.
Everybody playing together like one giant family reunion for a few years.
So what year did they have their big break? Do you know that?
I know that, yes, we can I believe it is, came out in 1973.
You sure it wasn't a few years? Wasn't it in the late 60s?
Well, Can Can was one of their big breaks, and I know that came out in 73, so they had to have come out before then.
Okay.
But not, like, really pop.
Well, I printed out a chronology here because I knew...
Well, yeah, so when did they get their very first?
So, in 74 was when they joined the Helen Reddy Show. So that was their first television
break. Is this Wikipedia?
Break. Right. This is Wikipedia.
So it's probably 73. Yeah, it's probably wrong.
They're not always wrong, right?
Okay.
So
I had to change my name.
You had to change your name on
who I belonged to. Like I was June's granddaughter. I was like, really?
Oh, okay.
No
well, the one thing I found interesting was when they started, because they weren't well-to-do, right? As
like rich?
Yeah, no. And so what I found interesting was everybody has to develop a style, and they developed this thrift store style, like we just were talking about. So they developed a 1940s dress style, which they started at the thrift store, but it really hit and really took off. So a lot of people
and that
would
wasn't on
imitate
purpose. From what I've been told, it wasn't on, like, my grandmother and my aunts weren't like, yeah, let's rock this. This is what's cute. This is what they had, and they just so happened to be very fashionable with what they had. But I hear stories about how the costumes, they're walking off stage and the costumes are falling apart because they were thrift store clothing or their mother's friends' hand-me-downs. And my grandmother, she sewed, so she would fix things, but, like, they'd fall off as they performed, as they're walking off stage, and it just so happened to become so fashionista of them.
But she will kill somebody for a pair of 1940s
yes,
gloves.
I will. I take that from them, and I'm just like, can I have that? Can I have that? Is it from the 70s? Can I have that?
Old, she's like starry-eyed.
Oh, and they give me their stuff from the old days because they know I'll keep it.
And take care of it, I'm
this
sure.
This is Anita's dress.
Right. Well, according to Wikipedia, we had this vintage 1940s clothes from the thrift stores, but you're saying it really would have been just about anything from the thrift stores, that was just what they had. Is that right?
From what I heard, yeah, like that was their style, and they just went for what they knew and what they had.
They have a great.
They just so happened to be very fashionable,
right?
The collection of information I've gotten.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So, anyway, that was, I don't know if that's where the big break, but their song "Fairy Tale" actually was, probably their first and only song that went country as well as pop. So it went back and forth, and so they got to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, and that was kind of a nice thing. Did they sell it to Elvis?
Wow.
What was interesting was that your great-grandmother apparently which would be their mother, was very religious and a very strong Christian.
And their father was a minister.
Oh,
and my great-grandmother was a minister as well, and so was her husband.
Where were they at that time when they would have been doing?
Oakland, California.
Oh, they were doing it there? Because I was in Sacramento. So I would remember that. But what was interesting is they didn't like them singing. And so
they liked them singing.
But
once again, you guys have to understand, I hate it when
story?
No, I just want you to know it's a story. Like I was told this too from different family members, so it's not like I'm speaking from I was back there with them because I wasn't even thought of yet. But their mother and father loved their voices, from what I believe, from what I've heard. But the church members thought they were too secular. So you fight with, this is my church, but I want my children to sing. But church members are like, you're just a little too happy about this. Like, you got to stick to the book.
So they did gospel singing
at first,
originally.
Yes.
Okay. And then, now tell me this is right, because this is what's in Wikipedia, which is where I went, because we don't remember all these dates. And so I went, and it said that then they brought an Elvis song home.
Which
Elvis
was
record.
Fairy Tale.
Okay. And
they sold that.
And then the mom let them play it because she liked the song on the back, which was kind of a gospel song. Now, is that a true story or is that myth?
I haven't heard that story.
All right.
It's very possible.
Okay. Well,
but just so you know, like all the facts and when that song came out, when this song came out, pointersister.com.
Pointersister.com.
Like I give all the credit to Wikipedia. It's a great site, but for the facts on the Pointer Sisters,
all right, I should have gone there.
Pointersisters.com.
All right, because just so you know what's out there myth-wise, I'll read you the myth, and then
it could be so.
It was actually they brought home this on Wikipedia. They brought home a copy of Elvis Presley's "All Shook Up," and she was surprised. June did this. That her mother allowed her to play it until she discovered her mother had been pacified by the song "Crying in the Chapel."
I believe it. It sounds like my family. It sounds along the lines.
So that's kind of how they took off. Now, them doing this now, you came along, obviously, down the road. You probably, I think, brought them good luck. So after your birth, there were some good things.
My mother is Ruth's daughter, and her name is Fawn.
Fawn. Now, was she a singer as well?
She is a singer. She's not a professional singer, but she does sing and very well. But she's an artist.
An artist.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So she did something different. So, but right now, when the trio goes, it's going to be Anita and Ruth and you. Is that
Yes.
right? As the performer. Now So, did you get the name Sadako? Am I say that right? Mm-hmm. So, did they give you that name because they thought you might need a stage name? Because I mean, it's such an interesting name, doesn't it? Just sound like because Sadako is performing tonight. Did they do it for that reason?
I love it. No, my father
No.
is. I wish.
That's not in
I can
Wikipedia.
use that,
I want
though.
you to know.
I will use that. I'll be like,
I'm
I was
just
born
wondering.
a star. They named me this on purpose.
Yes.
I have a destiny. No, my father is half Japanese, and his mother is from Osaka, Japan, and her name is Sadako. And my
Really?
mother is obsessed with anything eccentric and different. So my grandmother started a thing where the daughters have to be named after both of the mothers. So I'm named after my father's mother and Ruth. So my name is Sadako Ruth.
That is beautiful.
That
of course,
is
you
beautiful.
have a beautiful name. Say your name again.
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. That's a beautiful name.
So, where did Kenyatta come from?
It's funny because I'm the middle child, and my older sister's name is Wendy, and my younger sister's name is Jessica.
Oh, where do you come in?
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Wendy and Jessica, and then Kenyatta. Did I say that one right? Because that's
Kenyatta.
very different.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before. So, did they ever explain to you where they came up with that name?
Well, they never explained it. I kind of looked at it myself. I know he was the African ruler the year I was born. Mm-hmm. And his birthday is actually the day after my birthday.
Wow.
And the only other thing I know about it, it means musician.
Ah, see, you're destined. See, both of you.
But it's normally
Destined to
a
good.
man's name.
Yeah, it's a masculine
Every time
name.
I say Kenyatta to someone, they're like, a girl? And they're like, oh, that's cool.
In today's world.
I would have guessed that your parents had this bet to come up with a name that you could never find a keychain in Las Vegas.
That'd be us.
Redone, right?
That'd be us. Right? Every time he talks, I'm like ready. I'm just like, what?
That's right.
You're gonna get, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful name, very beautiful. But yes, we always think that maybe they read them in a book. I mean, I knew somebody named Zula once, and it was because her mother was an avid reader and came upon the name one time in a book. I actually eventually met a second person with that name, but yeah, it was in a book. So you just don't know
You never
where
know.
names come from. I mean, Wendy and Jessica, yes, but you wonder what were they thinking or what mood were they in at that time when they gave you such a unique name?
Right.
Thankful, though.
Right, definitely.
By the way, we had Janet J. calling from Manhattan, New York, says, the wiki's terrible. Go to their website. Love you, Sadako.
Yay!
You should pull the website up there.
Janet J. Is that Janet Jackson? Or? I'm sure it
Yeah,
probably was.
Probably. If she's talking to me.
And you know what's funny?
We had lunch.
I put Paula Abdul on hold. I'm like, you just hold and wait. She hung up on me. I'm like, fine.
Well, at some point you have to put the website up.
What's your favorite?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite genre?
Of music? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so hard. Mm-hmm. That's so hard. Because I'm all over the place.
You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
If she had to pick one, I'd say country.
Country?
That's so true. I try to find something else so everybody's not so shocked. But
Is that classic country,
Yes.
though, or the new stuff?
the new stuff.
Wow.
But not necessarily classic new stuff, but older bluegrass.
Yeah, older bluegrass
I'm not
is
that
real
crazy
nice.
about new bluegrass, but the older bluegrass, yeah. you
Got to have a
get me
fiddle in the
going.
band type of thing?
Yeah, I love
Gotcha.
it. I love it. And I'm not the only one in my family. A lot of my family members like country.
And well, so now but let's kind of figure out where you are. So you're a Pointer sister for sure, because you're with you're performing as in the trio.
Mm-hmm.
So are they doing tours right now?
Well, this year we haven't been doing very many tours. We've been doing a lot of spot dates. Last year we were all over the country. So I think they play it wise and go like 1 year we'll do a couple of tours, 1 year we won't,
Where did you go last year then?
Oh, God, we went to Australia, all up and down
Wow,
Australia, and that
nice.
was so much fun. Made so many friends. Thailand, Russia, Paris.
Russia, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, God, it was cold. Ooh, my feelings were cold. Like, you don't understand. I was just like, oh.
You know what they have in Russia, though? They
Vodka?
have those Polish chickens. The real good ones with the big hairdos. Seriously.
What are you talking about?
I know my location.
He's on a different station than the rest
Sorry.
of us. Okay? different frequency.
I'm thinking about this. I've had my daughter and my son-in-law both go to Russia. Nobody's ever brought back the Polish.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull a Polish chicken up here for you while you're.
Please do. Please do. Inspire my next hairdo.
Did you have to wear the big boots? 'Cause it was so cold there. I know when they went, they had you have to wear special clothing.
Yeah.
Because of how cold
I wasn't
it was.
prepared. I thought it was going to be like Boston.
It's
just a little cold.
Cool runnings when they first.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what I look like. I'm just like this, like trying to crawl into my grandmother's body, and I'm just like, let me in. I'm so cold.
How does that work for a Polish chicken right there, huh?
That's crazy.
That's right.
I had that hairdo.
Take it back, Mr. Windsor.
The one on the second row.
They're all Polish
that one
chickens.
right there.
That's crazy.
That lady on the second row there.
There we go. She's a good-looking one.
Wow, those are amazing.
Beautiful. No, I was looking for hats, but next time
Gotcha.
I'll grab a chicken.
I can get that for you.
Do you like gospel music?
I do.
There's a singer who's just coming out, I guess about a year ago, a young 8 or 9 year old Marvane. Her last name is Marvane. Rima Marvane. Have you heard her? Oh, you should look her up.
Google her.
Yeah, great voice.
Really?
Just a young. You would never believe she is eight or I think she's 9 years old in those videos. Probably 10 years old by now, but you really ought to listen to her. It's incredible.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, what is it like to go on tour with your grandmothers? Lots of grandmothers out there that love being around their grandchildren, and it must just be such a thrill to be able to be.
Of course, some of us
so
grandparents, we are young at heart, is all I'm saying.
Well, you are young at heart.
That's right.
I bet that if we had a song going, you would get up and dance right now.
Oh, you have no idea. Mark really would.
Oh, I believe it.
Me too.
We've done events out in public, and Mark's getting out there, and he's busting a move. He's line dancing, teaching people. No joke.
God.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
No, I come on. I'm on stage with
the first time I saw Mark do it, I was like, "You go, Mark," because he was good. That's the funny. He was good.
Like you want to laugh, but you're like, "Oh."
I'm like, let me get the camera instead, because everyone else is taking pictures. I'm doing it too.
No, he doesn't know what he's doing. He just shakes it.
Oh God, it's fun. I love it. I think I'm so lucky, because it's different though. It's not the normal grandmother-daughter relationship. It's
what's normal. I mean,
like,
really.
From what I would imagine, like when I think of grandmother, I think of someone who doesn't work, who's usually at home with her husband and doing like retirement things,
like jigsaw puzzles,
yeah,
right?
or like Scrabble,
or
making
oatmeal
muffins.
cookies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not like getting low on the ground and just like going crazy on the dance floor and letting the bass drive you insane. Like that's not what I think of when I think of grandmother.
Most
and
people
I look
don't,
at her,
right?
right? But I see her on stage and I have to go, Sadako, you're performing. Perform. Stop staring at her. Because I just look at her and Anita like, oh, I love you guys.
There's a grandmother in this picture.
Right?
Yes.
The middle one. Oh, she's
That
so
is
bad.
a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did visit your website, by the way, and I did look at that and never would have thought anybody was a grandmother. I just didn't print it from there.
There's this
the other one's
picture.
Your aunt, is that right?
Yeah, my Aunt Anita, who, oh, God.
Now, she's your great aunt, right?
She is my great aunt.
So we actually have a great aunt and a grandmother and the granddaughter.
But they're all so young, we don't say great aunt.
I
don't say grandma. Her name is Nana.
What do they do to stay in such great shape? Are they just dancing a lot, working out a lot? I mean, they look
My grandmother
fantastic.
she definitely works out a lot, and she's very nutrition based with her food. Like she takes care of herself very well
you would
food wise.
have to,
And
right,
my Aunt
she looks
Anita, she
healthy.
loves the pool. So they're very active women. You know, they're famous and they know it, and they make sure they look like it.
Well, they definitely look like it. I think we would all agree with that.
Now, I've had several musicians on my show. I do another show, and one of my favorite parts of the show is when they sing. Are you guys going to sing for us or what?
No, we did not ask her to sing.
Well, I know I am.
No. I promised her the gig we offered her was an interview, not a performance.
All
and
right.
so any songs are going to be recorded.
I can
So
respect
we're
that, but are you going to
that's
sing for us?
I mean, I'll sing.
See
can
what
sing.
we're
Maybe
gonna
if
do?
we feel inspired before it's over, I might drag
duet.
Kenyatta back over here
Yeah,
and make her join me.
There you go. Just Amazing Grace or something like that. you
Wow!
know?
Oh yeah, just anything. Amazing,
Yeah.
great. You know.
You know.
Make sure you get the harmony, but just any old
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
I'll break out my harp.
That's always one of my
No,
favorite
let her
parts.
do some kind of bluegrass. No. She doesn't have to do that. If at the end she feels inspired, anytime you feel inspired, you just feel
Just
free to
burst
do
out
that.
in
But
song.
that's right. You can burst out in
Okay.
song. It is okay. We'll just pretend like this is a musical.
Okay.
I
I'm
had
gonna
some
do it
real,
too.
I had some real serious bluegrass folks in playing some music this week.
Ooh.
is that bluegrass or what?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like raw.
They were getting down the hoedown right there. I was like, whoa. Yeah, oh yeah.
I love it.
It was pretty wild. And then the lady was playing the fiddle.
How about that other young lady we had on whose mom was also very famous?
Her.
Oh yeah, she was. I loved her.
Yeah, I like her. She's good.
Thank you. I wish I could remember.
She was so famous.
Oh yeah, Melanie.
Melanie.
Jordy's
her
Jordy,
name?
and her mother's Melanie from the '60s and '70s. That sang like brand new.
Oh yeah.
Brand new key and some of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had her run recently.
I got a brand new pair of tennis shoes.
She sang the whole time. It was pretty cool.
I love it.
That one.
We had a ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I think that we should get
That's the
together
one.
and try.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that
her
song.
mom.
I was thinking about redoing that song.
Are you serious?
She was on
we
our-
can get you connected.
Oh, please do. Like, I love it.
Yeah, she was on. She was wonderful. She sang a lot. Is all I'm going to do. You got to learn how to make these contracts better. Is all I'm going to say.
I roller skated to your door at daylight. I love it.
That's
I got
the
her
one.
singing.
You did. Okay, Miss
We win.
True that.
Yeah, she let me harmonize with her on air. It was wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you testing me? Are you, like, telling me what she did so we can get ready?
I'm just saying, she was good.
Mark's a lawyer, so he gets people to do things.
things. Are good.
Yes, all that legal persuasion.
Right? I'm sitting here feeling guilty and I didn't even do nothing.
Pedro, where did you go? Oh, she's back there. What are you doing back there? Aren't you supposed to be on with us?
So what are you doing now? Are you doing more than performing with in this group? Because I know that some of your relatives have done some solo stuff and some haven't, and so kind of where are you with all of that?
Well, I'm working on my solo project right now, trying to find out who I am as a solo artist. And recently, when I'm not because that's like my job, being a Pointer Sister. And when I'm not on the road with them, I try to do anything I can to remain active in my field. So anything my friends go, will you sing at this, or will you do this, will you dance at this, I try to say yes. And Kenyatta always has something going on, so I told her this month, I was like, I'm not working, but I want to be doing something. So she pulled me in on her stuff with Troubadour Cafe for Dancing with the Bars. We had just done that show, which was she debuted a song, right? Like, it was crazy, a live performance with singing and acting. It was cabaret. It was great. So I do stuff like that while I do videos for friends who also are artists. I just try to stay in the field, and I'm trying to get credit for being a host, so I'm working on avenues to where I can host and just branch out.
Well, it seems like it would be different, and was difficult because you're known as a Pointer Sister. Mm-hmm. So how does a Pointer Sister, which is a trio, then become a single Pointer Sister? Is that, I mean, you see where I'm coming from? Is that a little different?
I feel like with the Pointer fans, they have soon come to learn that it is a family affair, and I think they knew that even before the Pointer Sisters started branching out in the family and extending the roles, They always brought their kids up on stage and their grandkids up on stage when they perform, so I don't think their fans are really shocked when you go, Sadako, one of the Pointer Sisters, Issa, one of the Pointer Sisters, Ruth and Anita, the original Pointer Sisters. If you're a fan, you kind of follow that. It's a family affair, and you're going to follow them if you appreciate the family value of it.
So does that mean now, as a group, are they going to be at some point releasing more records? I know there's lots of people who would love them to do that. So what do you think?
I can't say that because I'm not an original, so I stay in my role. I do what I'm told. No, I've heard them speak about doing new material. They're artists, so they obviously always have new ideas. But I don't know where they are in their decision making, if they want to extend on doing new music or if they want to stay with their classics and keep performing those. I couldn't tell you. Mm-hmm. I should just say, as a fan, I hope they do more because I love everything they do, and I will sing it till the wheels fall off. So,
well, there's lots of people out there who love everything they do and welcome anything new they might want to do, or just listen to what is there.
Yeah.
But now, have you decided if you're going to try to do some stuff on your own besides what you just described? Is there anything in the back of your mind that you might eventually release something on your own?
Absolutely. I'm hoping by this time next year to be on the radio. Let's keep it real. With my music and as a personality. I know what I want to do musically. I just have to find the right team to make it happen. I have my idols I'm working with, so I get to definitely bounce ideas off of them. So right now I'm just working on my style. I really want to be sure before I go, yeah, here's my debut, and this is what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, you would know because of you got these mentors. You just don't want to do it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a tough industry, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I was just talking to Kenyatta about it. It's kind of like having an identity crisis sometimes, because as much as I love the Pointer Sisters music, that's the Pointer Sisters. I didn't originate in that group. You know, I have my own style, I have my own voice, I have my own thoughts. So working with them and looking up to them and singing their music has really got me in the Pointer Sister zone. So when I go to think about my own creativity and my own style, I kind of get lost in what I'm supposed to sound like at work or what Sadako really sounds like as an independent artist. It's hard, and I'm sure it's that hard for people that aren't in another group before they start out with their solo career. So it's definitely a hard industry. You have to love it to do it, and that's real.
Well, it takes such a high level of commitment, so you would have to love it.
And it's not only just, it's not like a 9-to-5. It's not just a job. It's like therapy. You know, like if you're a singer, you love to sing, and your nerves are there, your insecurities are there, especially if you're singing your own music. And if you're singing a cover, you want to do it justice. It's just like you're laying your emotions out for the world to judge. Right. You better be ready for the criticism.
So what do you feel, like you just made me think about Taylor Swift and how she does all her music based upon the people she dated. Kind of give me some feedback from your position on that. You're just saying you lay your feelings out there. And I'm just curious how you think about that.
I love it. I mean, the most times I write is after a breakup, because that adrenaline, it's like when you're high in the clouds, you want to write a song if you're a writer. If you're down low, you want to write. It's just what it is.
That's what you mean by the therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you like country.
Absolutely. I get to tell the story, like, completely. I could just say he walked up and slapped me in the face and then we broke up. Like, we can go through all that in a country song.
And an old dog and a pickup truck and you're all set.
Bottle of vodka.
Right, right, that's right. That's a country song.
My new release, everyone, get ready.
It's called Old Red.
But yeah.
So what you're saying is to find your style, you just need something really either super great to happen or really lousy to happen to pull all the emotions out so that you can enter into the musical therapy part of it.
For me, that's how it works.
Well,
Because I feel like if I'm just skating in the middle, I just get tidbits of songs. But if I'm like if I really just broke up with my boyfriend and I was madly in love, I would be like writing out. I'd be rich. I'd be Adele.
I think Nancy was getting at. She wants to see how much you like the show because she wants to see if there's going to be a song called maybe The Flemings or something like that coming out, right? The Fleming Show song.
I don't think we're getting that much emotion on it. She's not quite that ecstatic yet. We got to do better, Joe.
Kamika, is that the same as you? Do you write as well?
I do.
And is your favorite music also in the country genre, or do you have other?
I do love country, but it's not my favorite. My favorite changes a lot.
Good.
And I think that...
How about today?
Today, I would say probably deep house music.
And it hasn't changed for the past 10 years. I just want everyone to know that.
Aren't you still doing the Pink Floyd tribute?
Yeah, I'm doing the Pink Floyd tribute band. Great Gig in the Sky, which is an amazing tribute band.
That she kills.
Like, spit-and image replica of Pink Floyd. I mean, we're actually... being produced by the actual producer of Pink Floyd, the original Pink Floyd. So he's touring with us and doing all that stuff with us. So
Kenyatta turns into her music. It's pretty wild.
Where are some of your upcoming performances for those who haven't seen you?
We have a lot coming up in August. In August, I'll be doing the Crescent Ballroom again. You can actually go to my Facebook. All my updates.
How do you spell it? So we know
name?
Your name. Yeah, where do we go? Just spell it for us.
It would be on Facebook. It's Kenyatta, Kenyata.
Just like it sounds. Mm-hmm.
Facebook.com.
And that's going to then list all of your upcoming performances and where they will be.
So you'll accept my friend request, I presume.
I sure will.
Okay.
I won't.
And we just
I'm holding you to that.
Just because I had you sing a few
yeah,
notes,
exactly. I'm going to leave and be like, I don't like this man. Go make me do what I'm hired to do. No.
Well, to be fair, Mark, you should use your wiles in Kenyatta. Make her sing a few bars, too.
She probably wouldn't mind. Most artists love a few notes on the air.
not sporadically.
Right? I know. See, this is something that goes along with how we grew up and our families. And just being black.
Right. Hello.
Your family always wants you to perform.
Come on, girl. Perform for him.
Get
do
up
that
there.
Little bitch you used
Mark.
to do 8 years ago.
Throw him a beat, Mark.
See, I'm just like your family.
Right?
I ought to be black.
Mark can rap in the mic. He can do that.
Can beatbox. Anita can beatbox, so I don't doubt that you can. Seriously, go ahead, do it.
We had I had one on that we actually just had little clips. Remember that with Millie Owens? We just played her little clips from hers. But so you should have sent clips. That would have. We had one that brought all their or two. We've had two different that brought all their instruments. The Rockin' Our Ranch guys, and then that huge band. He had one where they're all over the place with their instruments.
I've had bands with instruments where we couldn't even walk in here. Seriously, and it's cool. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I need a bigger building, but
I like it.
yeah, it's intimate. That's for sure.
Right on.
It's fun.
So you're not singing, Mark. You didn't use your same persuasive powers on Kenyatta.
What can we sing for him?
Apparently,
Yeah,
what?
let's try to
Kenyatta.
What can we sing for him?
Kenyatta. I want to sing.
Wow, I felt that.
He's glamoring you.
I felt that.
Yes, you're all here. We're all feeling it.
Let's see. It's so hard because, like, when somebody says, "Okay, pick a song to sing,"
Right.
you have no songs, and then when you're not around anybody, you have.
Tell me that because when you're just sitting around, you two probably sing together.
We do.
right?
All the time.
You're in the
What
car.
are we singing? But then it doesn't matter if we like crack or
It doesn't
rock,
matter now
right?
either.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, it does.
I can't even speak. I can't even get it out how much it matters. Because someone going, yeah, I was listening to the Sadako Pointer Girl online. Ooh, she just hit this note that was like off. It's not what I need. My girl would be like, child, you know better than that.
Don't be singing on the air.
All right, you're off the hook then. Okay, good. But next time when I schedule my show, I'm bringing a recorder and you're singing while I play my recorder,
Okay.
all right?
And if you go to our pages, you can see the performance we just did this past Sunday, which was amazing.
Yeah.
We did
Which
this
we both
together?
sang.
together.
How
no,
cool
that's
is that?
Yeah.
Did you sing? So you sang together, not
we
separately
didn't
on
sing
the.
We
oh,
sang
separate on
at the same show.
At the same
We've
show. Okay.
never. Oh yeah, we have. We've sang together.
I was going to ask you, have you ever sung together?
We
You
were
really
in a
haven't.
group together.
How long are you here
Oh.
in Arizona?
till the 31st.
So that's plenty of time for me to call one of the local churches and have you guys come sing a gospel song at a
Yeah.
church.
We
Would you
could
do that?
We
Yeah.
could definitely do that.
I'll arrange it. All right, it's done. See, that's
Boom.
my
There
legal
you go.
skills right there.
I
Look at
guess
that.
so.
Plenty of time to practice. In fact, I can think of a church. All right, very good. I'll arrange it.
Let's do it.
Amazing Grace?
Okay.
We decided the song.
Oh, you decide the
Yeah,
song.
buddy.
All right. With
You-
my approval.
Your lawyer skills. See, you think he's slick. And y'all's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. You're like, I don't even know that song.
It's already on page 6 in there for you to sign.
Oh, no.
He had this all pre-done.
That's exactly right.
Leave it to him.
That's exactly
That's
right.
great.
I've got to head in a minute as well, so I'm running out of time.
So when did you ever sing together? I mean, how long have you been friends?
11 years.
Yeah, almost 12.
Wow.
Yeah. And we started out dancing together in her dance company. And then I joined the same music group she was in, and then we went on tour. I think, is that the only time we sang together?
Yeah, we sang with a local rap, like, underground hip-hop group. And they did their music with turntables. It was all turntables, so they would all, like, scratch different beats to make the actual music. So it was like 9 turntables. One would do the bass, horns,
Wow.
piano.
And then us.
Yeah. And then we would sing.
And
That's
see,
wild.
I still remember the song we sang, but she don't remember.
Well, what was it?
Do you remember a little bit?
Let me see. I'm ready to drop one in my
Come on, let's do it.
I don't know
Come
it.
on, let's do it.
Okay, well, you have to finish it because I don't remember
Oh,
it.
God, okay. Ready? I'm ready to drop what in my personal life ain't fit for all humanity. I'm understanding which that affects I, affects we, and vice be infinitely. So come on and get down in the now, cause the silence profound and it's what we believe. We don't trip, we rip quick, and especially when we hit you with that.
Great.
There we
And
go.
we sang that like
And we wrote
8
that.
years ago. God,
Oh,
good
that's cool.
times. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a great. And we were in the fashion thing together, and so on this tour,
We took no
no
clothes,
clothes, just fabric
and thread and
thread.
needles
Are you serious?
and made
Yep.
every outfit we wore
every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you
can
didn't
be up here.
know what you wanted to wear
You
ahead
can
of
be up.
time?
No,
You didn't
because
have
we
time?
just wanted to make all of our clothes on the road.
I know Felina wears your outfits about 4 times a week.
It's like pasted on her body now.
No.
So
Wow.
if there's one thing that you would like to have, do, accomplish, see happen, what would for each of you, what would you just like a big wish, make a wish kind of thing?
I can go for a Grammy. How about you?
Grammy would be great.
Grammy's great. Okay.
I can go for a Grammy. There's a couple. A Grammy, my own TV show, my own liquor line, and my own nail polish. And that'd be good.
Not a perfume.
No.
You don't care about perfume.
We'll throw
don't
that in
scents.
afterwards.
I get like, my scent would have no scent. Because like, they give me a headache. I really
That's
do.
a very good reason.
Yeah, I think that's the Asian side
I
of my
was just
family.
getting ready to put the potpourri out too. I'm gonna leave it back behind
Yeah,
the bar.
I would have a headache instantly. But
Well, I know because the originals got that Grammy. Or they got 3, I guess.
Yeah,
didn't
they got a couple.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the walls at home.
And they were nominated for more than what they got. So that's really, I mean, they were just really up there.
Yeah.
They were out there in the stratosphere, making people happy.
I want to
which
do
is
the
super.
same. Follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, well, that's a great legacy.
And I feel like I want this generation and the next generation to still know the Pointer name. No matter if it's Issa, me, my sister for her acting, my mom for her painting, it doesn't matter. Like, I want everyone to know the Pointer name, every generation. I don't want to have to go, I'm so excited for them to go, oh, yeah, the Pointer
Right.
Sisters. I want every age to know who the Pointer Sisters are and the Pointer family and just that name.
Where do you reside? Atlanta?
Oh, God, yes.
Was
But
that
I make
there?
sure I'm never there, so.
So why are you residing in a place where you don't want to be?
You want the true answer?
Yes.
I followed a man, child.
Oh! You are not the first nor the last woman to do that.
It's going to be the
Oh,
last
okay.
time I do it, I'll tell you that much. But I claim to be from New York, but I'm originally from California.
Right. Well, so were you born in Oakland then?
No, I wasn't. I was born in Santa Fe.
Oh, well, that's
Close.
State. Yeah, it
but
is
I was
close.
raised in Nevada, and then I moved to New York when I was 15. But it's so funny when they ask us where we're from, because my aunt and grandma will say, Oakland, and I'll be like, New York, and my aunt will be like, on television. No, you're not. And I'll be like, man, yes, I am. She's like, no, you're not.
So they just don't cut you any slack, do they?
They do, but it's so funny now, because we make sure when we're in an interview to look at each other when I go, I'm from New York, so she could be like, no, you're not.
Do you
There are a
like?
lot
Do
of
you like Atlanta? Or are you going to move
No,
out of there? You
I
gonna
don't
leave
like
there?
it at all.
Why
don't
do you
like
stay
it
there?
Why do I stay there?
Yeah.
Because I'm not the type of person, going back to finances, that borrows. I don't like to borrow. If I don't have the money to make all that happen, then I won't do it. And I don't right now to do it the way I want. And it's hard moving from the most cheapest city to the most expensive city. You know, like going from $525 in rent to $1,000 for the same apartment.
Right.
It's hurting my ego, so I have to take my time.
Gotcha. That
It
makes
sounds
sense.
like you were
It's
raised with
true.
some great values.
I was.
Because
I'd like
somebody
to
would,
think
you know,
so.
the common thought would be, gosh, somebody was raised in a family of celebrities. They must be really, spoiled and terrible with money. And you sound like you're just have a really good head on for money.
I
and
don't like to
finances.
count other people's money. So the Pointer Sisters earned and made their share, and I plan to do the same. I don't want anyone else's money. It doesn't feel the same, and plus I burn through it too fast. So if I work on my own money, it'll go slow.
But that is a lot of wisdom. There's, it's very common for people to burn through someone else's money
It
because
is.
they didn't earn it.
Absolutely, you don't know the
However
struggle.
they get it, right, whether it's an inheritance or loans, like we talked about
Mm-hmm.
earlier, or however it comes about. When we don't earn something, we don't appreciate it. So I
Absolutely.
really take my hat off to you because
Thank you.
somebody raised you right, or I don't. Where did you get such a great idea? I mean, such a good head on your shoulders for
I was
for that.
bounced around. I'm very lucky for that. I was raised by my great aunt and uncle. The Pointer Sisters' mother's brother and his wife raised me with my father. And I was bounced back from them to Anita, to my father, to my mother. I was really never told no. Like, I'd be like, I want to live with my mom. They'd be like, okay. I want to live with auntie. Okay. Like, I just got to go around. So I got everyone's values, I got to live rich and get what I wanted and eat what I wanted. And I got to live poor, and I loved both of them. I really did. I loved the sense of knowing the difference and feeling it out all through different stages of having money, not having money. And I think it's made me a good, well-rounded person.
Well, it obviously has. But you know what really strikes me with that story is no family jealousy. So this cute little girl decides that she wants to go live with an aunt or with a grandma or with father or with a mother. Everybody's fine with it. So that means people had to have a lot of their head on straight to just be, and really be very close. And, the good of the whole. I mean, that's kind of what I'm hearing coming across.
I think, I don't think that, how do I put this without like throwing anybody under the bus? My mother and father were in a certain state and they were young. And I don't think anyone that took care of me felt that they could make the decision to hold me where I was. I can't speak on their state of mind or what they thought because I'm not them. But I feel like they always said, like, we're not her parents. We're not her mom or her father. We can't say you have to stay here. Like, here's a young little girl who wants to go live with someone who can take care of her. Still in the family, still a well-rounded person. Why not? And I think they just let me go.
So did you make, you were little, you might not know why you made the decision, but it was more, did you make those decisions more because you wanted to know other members of the family better? Do you kind of remember why you wanted to just go from one place to another?
Some therapists would say probably ADD. Others would say boredom. I wanted to change like I do now because I live in Georgia and I haven't been home in a month. Like, I just have always had this spirit of, let's go. This is fun. This has been nice. Okay, time to move. What's next? And I'm an Aries, so I've just always been.
See, moving around some does that. When I was growing up, my parents moved a lot. I moved 22 times by the time I was 19.
See?
And went on my Mormon mission.
Wow.
So I had moved a lot up to that point. It took me years and years and years to slow that pace down once I became an adult.
As long as you're not running, it's healthy. If you're running, we have a problem. You need to sit still and figure it out. And then if you decide your next mission is somewhere else, then you go. And I've learned that throughout living with different family members because I would run. Like, one person grounded me and I'd never been grounded before. I'm like, I'm out.
That's a typical
And then they're like,
thing.
no, you're not. Like, you don't get to go like that. You have to have a reason, and it has to fit everyone's schedule. But
the family basically, even though you chose where to go, the family basically did pull together for your common good.
I would like to say both sides of my family, my mother's side and my father's side, have worked beautifully together in my case, from what I see and how I grew up. I think they worked very well together, and every family has problems, and everybody has a problem with the other family member in every family, but I do think we handled it quite well. Especially being a celebrity family, making sure things don't end up in the tabloids that really didn't happen or got blown out of proportion, Things like that happen, and it's sad that in a family where there are celebrities, you have to take into consideration what you do even though you are not that celebrity, because you don't want to bring bad attention to your family,
That's a really responsible attitude because
now,
you really could do that.
It
right.
didn't kick in until a couple years ago. Let's make that clear.
But it kicked in.
It did.
No matter
I'm like,
when.
I can't do that. I might make my grandma mad.
Talk to us about the choice and process of you becoming a Pointer sister in the group.
I was living in New York, and my cousin Shagan goes, hey, do you want to come to Korea and be in a cover band? And I was like, sure. I quit school, quit my jobs, gave up my apartment, went to LA to say goodbye to all my family members. And my cousin Shagan, I love you. He's like, if Obama wins, we're not going. Yeah, Obama won, and I think I was the only one mad at the time because I really wanted to go to Korea. So now I was stuck in LA. I had nothing to do, no job. It was just kind of in limbo for me.
Wow.
And I was living in Anita's racquetball room, and Issa got pregnant and had a little adorable little boy, and she goes, hey, do you want to be a Pointer sister? And I'm like, absolutely. That would be great, thanks. And she's like, yeah, okay. Gigs in Thailand. So we went in the racquetball room, and we rehearsed, and a couple weeks later, I was a Pointer sister on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because Issa had a baby.
Well, she
that
was
a
the
big part
one
of it?
who originally took over for June.
Right.
I wasn't in the group yet, and then she decided to have her little baby boy. So they had to continue still touring, of course, so they hired within the family.
So why did they cancel the Korea thing just because Obama was elected?
It wasn't,
I don't think I
that wasn't a
understand
Pointer sister thing.
I
That was
understand
my
that.
cousin Shagan.
I understand
He had
that.
been living in Korea for the past maybe
But what did
6 years.
an election have to do with your
Because
trip?
he had been living in Korea for 6 years, and having a black president and living in the country while it's happening for the first time is really important when you're black. As personally, from what I felt from him. He wanted to be a part of that. He wanted to know what it was like, and he hadn't been in the country he's from for a really long time. So I think that played the field. And he missed his family and a lot of our families where he lives now. So I think the Obama thing kicked it over the edge. Like, we're staying. This is definitely, I'm staying in LA. We're not going to Korea, which I'm so happy we didn't go, because I feel like out of sight, out of mind, they would have hired someone else within the family.
Oh, good
so
point.
I'm really happy
So
we
it
didn't
worked
go to
out
Korea.
wonderfully well.
Yeah.
And look at all the places you get to go.
Yeah, I've been all over the world in a matter of 3 years, and before that, I'd never left the country.
Well, the way you describe yourself, you must be loving it.
It's insane. I don't even, half the time I can barely speak when I'm in these countries. I'm just like, I knew I would get here. I thought I was lying when I was younger and doing my little stage performances, having my papa throw pennies at me. And I'm like, I'm going to end up in this country. I'm going to end up in Paris. And he'd be like, okay, Dako. And I'm like, really? No, I am. And I get there and I'm like, I didn't really believe it, but I did. And it happened, and it's crazy. Animal pointer sister? It's like, and the pressure begins. But it's a miracle, I'd like to think.
Yeah, it sounds like it was something that was meant to be.
Absolutely.
From the way you're, I mean, if you had that in your heart at such a young age.
Yeah.
And were gearing yourself up for it. So, yeah, I can see that's great. So, we never know. Those
You
dreams
don't.
may not be pipe dreams. They may be,
Yeah.
I don't know, visions of the future or something.
Absolutely. But they don't come without a struggle, that's for sure.
Right, but nothing worth having comes without
Does.
us, or it's not worth anything, like we were
Yeah,
just talking
yeah.
about earlier.
Absolutely.
So I am excited. You think a year from now you might be on the radio? Are you thinking possibly with your first solo? Are you hoping a year from now?
Not to come out in a year from now, because I hope it happens sooner than that, but in
But within the
rotation.
year.
Yes, like having young girls on the street sing my song and not even know that it's me. Like, like just walking by me and singing my song. I want that feeling, and hearing my song on the radio and all that. I want that. And I think by next year it can happen. At least I'm going to say that until it does.
You can keep saying it by next year. Even next year you can say by next year.
Right? But I feel like the more you say it, the more you feel reliable to make it happen. So, and I'm on.
Well, and
the
then
radio,
you're on.
so.
You're sort of making a kind of a, like a goal that everybody's going to be pulling for you to do that. I mean, I'd love to see that happen. Mark, wouldn't you? And Joe, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
We would love
Got
it.
me pulling for you.
Yay! Team Sadako!
That's right. And we'll close it out here with some Pointer Sisters.
And thank you all for joining us. This was delightful. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Sadako,
for
for
having
coming
me.
and say your name again.
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. I am so sorry. I knew I was going to say it wrong. And Mark, thank you so much.
Thanks
and
for
we
letting
will
me
see
say
you
it.
next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.